welcome everybody to another set of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Woogiepuff. That's Woogiepuff, and he's driving the Panzer 3-4 on an encounter battle on Redshire. Now I know most of you will have been expecting a War Thunder video today, and the reason that you're getting World of Tanks subscriber replay instead is because of the YouTube Dream Team highlights that have gone up the past 2 days. I really needed to put out something on the subscriber replays before they went ahead and just built up too much, because I get so many replays every single week. If I don't at least chip away at them and bring you these 4 and watch a good chunk of them and eliminate the ones that don't quite fit, then when it comes to next week for the Chaffee break and the subscriber replays, I'm going to have far too many. Just trying to predict the T-49's movement there, but he got tracked. So yeah, if I don't at least chip away at them and bring you something this week, then I would have far too many replays to look through next week for the subscriber replay and the Chaffee break. One thing I want to start doing as well is I want to start running a just for fun competition. So it's a competition, but there's not really going to be any prizes. What I want to do with that is basically, the competition is the first person who can correctly name in the comment section below the tank and the map from the thumbnail will win a shout out in the next video. So if you can be the first person to correctly name the tank model and the name of the map, then you will win a massive congratulations and you will win a shout out in the next video. Just a word of warning, it may not always be a tank and a map that was featured in the replays, but sometimes it will be, but not always. So just be careful of that it may not be a map and a tank that's already been featured. So just a little experiment I want to try, a little just for fun competition to see, test your guys' map and tank knowledge, and then, like I said, just give you a shout out if you are victorious. Obviously, if you've got your own YouTube channel as well, we'll give that a shout out as well. So this battle is progressing pretty well so far. It's 3 kills, 4-3 on each side. Woogiepuff just taking a good defensive position up on this hill. Obviously, with it being an encounter battle, both teams have an equal opportunity to get up to the top of this hill. So it's not like they're just camping up there. Both teams were probably trying to posture to take position on this hill, as it offers a good vantage point over the enemy. As you can see, the Allies have been much more successful than the enemy at taking this hill. So just winning ever so slightly at the moment at 6 kills to 5. Doing a fantastic job of holding the hill. Unfortunately, one thing that does not necessarily bode too well for the Allied team is all 6 of the kills are on Woogiepuff at the moment. So either the rest of the team not doing particularly well, or Woogiepuff is just kill stealing for the win. Just going to take out that quick stug there. One thing I do want to mention quickly again about the YouTube Dream Team company battles is we should be doing that once every month. So at the end of every month, we should be doing a big live stream with that, and you will be getting highlight videos the week after that. So the next one is planned for July the 27th. Oh, can he get the kill before he goes? No, Panzer 4 just about managing to get down behind that hill there before he gets taken out. So the next one's planned for July the 27th, which is a Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, a Saturday. So the next one will be that. I won't be live streaming it because I'm not really set up for live streaming, but there will be other people live streaming the event, and I'll go ahead and tweet that out. I may even make a video and stick it on YouTube on the night of the live stream with the links in the description, just so you can quickly go and watch it live if you like. But like I said, you will be getting the highlight videos in that next week, so the Tuesday and Wednesday videos of that week will be the highlight videos. Finds the enemy's artillery here a little bit exposed. Should be a... oh, not quite able to take him out. A little bit unlucky, but it should just be a simple case of picking that one up. And that's 9 kills so far in this match, which is absolutely awesome. And they're winning this one pretty convincingly at 12-8 at the moment. Although it looks like the enemy has the capture point pretty defended and camped at the moment, so Woogie Puff's just going to head over there and see if he can come at them from this other angle, because it looks like they are focusing on that northern and that central flank there. So hopefully he should be able to flank around behind them and catch them unawares. And for any of you new viewers out there, if you've got yourself a good replay where something amazing happens, or you basically just have a good all-round game, then please go ahead and send that in to replay@screenreality.com. That's replay@screenreality.com. Oh, gets a big hit there and set on fire from that Stug 3. Oh my god, gets set on fire a second time. That is so unlucky there. The Stug 3 firing what looked like incendiary rounds there, setting him on fire twice in a row and managing to take him out, putting an end to Woogie Puff's game there. So obviously there's a Stug 3 camped somewhere over there. Saw Woogie Puff coming in and obviously just decided to focus him down, as he had 9 kills for his allied team there. So yeah, go ahead and send replays to replay@screenreality.com. And I'll take a look at all replays and feature the best ones, or the ones that fit best with the theme of the video. So this one not quite over yet. The enemy team doing a good job of coming back, but that's pretty much just because they camped like a boss. So that Stug 3 is going to be able to take out anybody who goes for this cap zone. To be honest, he's in a very strong position over there in those trees. Because anybody who wants to go and get him is going to have to cross this open ground here, and having to cross that open ground is going to give him the opportunity to just have free shots on whoever he likes. Who are we going to decide to follow? We're going to follow this KV-1, as he got himself in the cap zone here, and there we go. Started the base capture themselves, but it looks like he's put himself slightly into harm's way there, but and getting shot. Still deciding to drive out there, so not sure what he's thinking. Stug 3 destroying the other Stug 3 there. A little bit Stug on Stug action. And that is him eliminated. So really, he should have just stayed camping behind this house here rather than pushing out. And to be honest, that may have just lost them the battle. This AT2 is going to do a job of trying to find him. But like I said, he's camped well behind these bushes and trees here, and really the AT2 is so slow that the Stug 3, to be honest, could probably just outflank him and then come around from behind. And this AT2 is going to have to play it pretty carefully. Oh, something happening with the replay there. There we go, back to the AT2. And as you can see, as I said, the Stug 3 had the speed and agility to be able to flank around the side of him, and able to take out the AT2 there. Artie taking his sweet time shooting. Not sure if he is... Well, he's not AFK because he's picked himself up a kill, but really just caught napping there. Should have been following the AT2 and unfortunately wasn't. So it's just going to be the Stug 3 versus the Wesp. The Wesp has a shot there, but as you can see, not really hitting anything, as he hasn't reset the base cap now, and the Stug 3 should just be able to easily hide behind the building and just wait this one out. If this Wesp doesn't move, then he's pretty much guaranteed to pick up this victory. So absolutely brilliant replay there from Woogie Puff. Got himself 9 kills, but such a shame that his team weren't able to seal the deal there, all getting stupidly taken out by that Stug 3 right at the end. And to be honest, I think what's happened here is this Wesp has just literally rage quit and Alt F4 out of this game. As you can see, the time limit didn't run out and the base capture didn't go to 100%, but this one was counted as a defeat. So probably the greatest game that he's ever lost. Such a shame there about the rest of his team. Thank you very much to Woogie Puff for sending that replay in. Stick around, guys, because there's another one coming right up. And our next replay is from the user Hemophobe Vampire 2. That's Hemophobe Vampire 2, would be a little bit awkward. And he's driving the M6 on a standard battle on the Fjords, and he's platooned up with his clanmate Evil Gopher there. You may recognise that name as we've featured some of his replays a few times on this channel. So pretty good player there. Both of them representing the DGA army there, or the DG army, however you want to pronounce that. So the M6 is not a tank that you see very often. The reason you don't see it, well, you see it in games reasonably often, but not as often as other tier 6s, and the reason you don't really see very many replays of the T6 is just because it is such a difficult tank to drive well, and it's not very often you can achieve large kill scores or the such with this tank. That's just because it suffers a little bit from the middle child syndrome. The T1 heavy tanks are pretty decent tier 5, having a good amount of armour and a good hit point pool for its tier, along with a half decent cannon, and the tier 7 T29 is absolutely amazing for its tier. One of my favourite tier 7 tanks, if not my absolute favourite tier 7 tank, and able to achieve great things with that tank when you learn how to use it and use it properly. And like I said, this one suffering from the little bit of the middle child syndrome, being in between those two pretty good tanks and not really excelling in any one field. So back to this game at hand, they've done a good job of flanking around behind the enemy. The enemy's obviously rushed most of their forces to the very southern peninsula and through the centre of this village here, so the team as a whole has decided to push through just to the north of this central area. I'm going to try and flank around the enemy a little bit. Vampire just trying to angle himself a little bit to get some side scraping done. Unfortunately, he doesn't really. There we go. Gets a good angle on that one and should be able to. There we go. Takes out that fellow M6 there, which is going to allow them just to push on this T-34-85 and take that guy out as well, which will allow them to completely close the pincer on this southern peninsula area here, which is exactly what they are about to do. So as the enemy team, you do want to be careful. If you are heavily pushing the town and this southern peninsula area, then you don't really want to get flanked. Looked like he was going to try and go in for a ram there, but just not quite sure how heavy the 88 is, and didn't really want to take too much damage himself, as he doesn't have a grand amount of hit points left. It's only just under 180. But now that that 88 is dealt with, it will allow them to come on and try and mop up this southern peninsula. As you can see, there's a medium tank already broken through there, and the allied forces in the north are having a little bit of a difficult time trying to hold back the enemy, as they've concentrated a few more forces in that area. Just trying to angle his tank there to get a little bit more side scraping, which is a good idea, especially with only 24 hit points left. So as you can see, this thing doesn't tend to bounce a great amount of shots, but it does have a decent amount of hit points, so it is able to soak up the damage. With that very long side, because the tank's so long, you are able to do some side scraping very effectively. Gets shot in the ass by one of his allies there. Luckily only took out his tracks and not his last remaining 24 hit points. So because this tank is so long, you are able to get some good side scraping done with it and try and lure the enemy into shooting at that weaker side armour of yours, just for them to have that shot bounce. Deciding that the southern area here is as secure as it's going to be, so decides to drop back to the town here. As you can see, somebody indicating on the mini-map that they have lost that northern section, so they're going to have to get back and try and defend this base, or they are going to get captured. Catches a T-34 napping, not sure where he was looking, but he's looking at his garage probably right about now as he gets himself taken out. So yeah, the tank destroyer is still pushing on this northern flank and just going to be swooping in on the base in an effort to get them a base capture done, as the allies are quite a distance away and it's only really that Dickomax who is defending, and Hemophobe Vampire dropping back to try and stop the cap here. The Dickomax is taken out. Who is that? That is a Crusader coming to assist, but it looks like the enemy are pretty short on hit points as well. So you have to be pretty careful with this one. Spots out the T-49. Unfortunately, the T-49 was able to get into cover just in time. So just going to wait for some allies to turn up. As you can see, there's a medium tank flanking around on that mini-map to try and come at them from the other angle. But somebody is going to have to get in there and get a hit on them, because there's a couple of them. By the speed that's going up, there's at least 3 of them in the cap zone. SU-100 just wiping out that cruiser there, or the Crusader there. Manages to get the cap down a little bit, but there's still a couple of them in that cap zone. Not really wanting to risk getting himself taken out, but he's able to get a good shot on that SU-100 there, and then drive a little bit further up the hill to try and stop himself getting shot. Just going to try and get some eyes on whoever is in the cap zone. As you can see there's another SU-85, but he just has to wait a little bit until his ally, that Type 58, comes around behind him. They have no idea that he's there. And that is GG. That's going to be a victory for them, thanks to Hemophobe Vampire distracting them from the front so that Type 58 can come in from behind. Even manages to pick himself up an 8th kill in the end there. So putting on a fantastic showing. Dropping back and defending that base. Oh, actually, no. I was going to say that ELC AMX may be able to pull up an upset here as he resets the cap, but no. They're able to pick that one back up, take out the ELC, and that one is the victory. So, brilliant replay there from Hemophobe Vampire, picking up 8 kills in an M6. Not something you see very often out of this M6. So, awesome replay from you. Thank you for sending that one in. Thank you to you guys for watching. Stick around because there's another one coming right up. And our next replay is from the user 5 Freestyler 5. That's 5 Freestyler 5, and he's driving the Object 212A on a standard battle on the Mountain Pass. And no, your eyes do not deceive you. This is indeed an artillery game, and anybody who's watched me for any length of time knows that I don't really show artillery games very often. I don't show artillery or tank destroyer games very often, and that's not because of any particular bias I have against them, but just because sitting in a bush and sniping through sniper mode for an entire battle doesn't generally make for a very entertaining or enthralling replay. But this one is obviously from the 8.6 patch. As you can see, is that artillery is tier 9. This replay just shows some good skills. You can see getting nearly 2,000 damage right on the top of that guy there. So this one is going to be showing some good awareness and some good skills from Freestyler here. So decided to bring you this one, especially with the new commentary style being a little bit more relaxed and a little bit less play-by-play. That's going to provide plays. And should hopefully be able to bring you some artillery and some tank destroyers there. You can see a T1, T110E5 coming and taking up the position that AMX had earlier. Unfortunately, that AMX did take 1,900 damage to the face, so we're going to see if this T11E5 gets the same treatment. Just going to let his reticule close in. 700 damage there, not too bad, not a direct penetration there, so a little bit, well, I wouldn't say unlucky. He still got 700 damage, which is nothing to be sniffed at. And as you can see, after having every shot, he just repositions himself ever so slightly, just in case he has been spotted by a scout, or if somebody is watching for the tracer rounds. Obviously, if somebody is watching for the tracer rounds, they can see you fire and then have a good idea of where you are and then drop artillery on your position. But if you're going to go ahead and relocate slightly... Oh, not quite able to land that shot. But if you do go ahead and relocate slightly after every shot, then that should minimize the risk of an enemy artillery coming in and getting a blind hit on you. So just relocating to the top of the mountain here, I'm going to see, because the enemy is trying to push in large numbers over this central bridge, so going to see if he can take somebody out. Finds a T-28 here, and with him being a tank destroyer, you can pretty much guarantee that he's going to be sat still in the same position, which he indeed is. So going to let his reticule close in nice and tight, and then 900 damage through his face there. A little bit of a shame he didn't get 1900 damage on that one, as that would have been able to take him out. Just going to keep an eye on this area. This E75 is just going to be pushing straight across the bridge. He's got to make up his mind now of who he gets to shoot at, because he's spoiled for choice right about now. But as you can see, the Allies have got a large contingent of tanks just across the bridge here, so it's not really necessary for him to take that shot. He can go ahead and shoot at somebody else, which he spots out a T-34 here. So like I said, just going to be moving around ever so slightly, just trying to make up his mind on who he wants to try and take out. Should be able to get this T-34 here, as his reticule's nice and tight. Another critical there, so a little bit unfortunate that he's not getting full amounts of damage, but he's already scored a decent amount of damage done after only hitting 3 or 4 targets. So the battle's progressing nicely in their favour, winning at 5-4 at the moment in this tier 10 battle. As you can see, this artillery has now been bumped up to tier 9. The old matchmaking system has been abandoned, which to be honest was a little bit long overdue, because you had tier 6 artillery matchmake up against much higher tiers, so the logical thing would be just to bump up the tier of the artillery and add a few lower ones and a couple of higher ranked ones. He's going to be taking a shot at that E75 to try and get him out of the battle, unfortunately leaving him with just 76 hit points there. So a little bit unfortunate that he's not able to eliminate him, not only for his own score there, but just to get his gun out of the game, because basically you want to focus fire people down, because the faster you can get the gun out of the battle is the faster that they are not shooting somebody. So it looks like the enemies somehow managed to actually push over this bridge. I thought they had quite a large defensive force guarding this area, but it looks like the enemy, that E75, has been able to push over. Nice shot on the T-34 there, having a good prediction of where he was going to be. Just signalling on the mini-map there that there is an enemy heavy tank in the area. And there he is there, you can see him on the mini-map. I believe that's an E75, but don't quote me on that one. And it looks like there's a tank destroyer dropping back to try and deal with him. So this battle is progressing pretty nicely in their favour still, at 9-7 kills. And with the help of the artillery as support from Freestyler here. Oh wow, absolutely awesome shot there on the WZ treble one there. Able to pick him up. The artillery has indeed been able to drop back and take out that E75, which means that Freestyle is now totally safe from anybody coming in and taking them out. And it looks like the Allies have mopped up in that northern area now, and are now just going to sweep around and come for a base capture. Last spotted enemies were in this area here, so just going to keep his reticule focused on this area and try and get a shot on who he can. Unfortunately, it looks like they are playing pretty smart and staying behind these rocks here, and there's nobody really you can get a shot on. But with the amount of tanks that they've got coming in from that northern flank, the enemy's going to have to pull out something absolutely unbelievably amazing to be able to snatch this one back from the jaws of defeat. So it looks like they're not going to be able to do that. And this one looks like it is going to be good game. Find the enemy artillery here. And are just going to go and squat on the base and go for this base capture. Wow, absolutely brilliant shot there. Not giving his reticule a chance to close in and just having a snapshot at that T-11-0E5 there and able to pick up him for his third kill now of this match. And that just leaves the Bat Chat out alone in, where was he? He was last seen in this area here, and to be honest, if I was him, probably just sit there in those ruins and allow the base cap to finish off on this one, because there's not really much he's going to be able to do against this many allied tanks. So awesome replay there from 5 Freestyler 5. showing the power of the artillery. Obviously everybody knew the power of the artillery, but showing how well it can be used and how effectively it can be used to help a team push on multiple flanks. So absolutely brilliant replay there from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Stick around because there is another one coming right up. And our final replay of the day is from the user Blackshot01. That's Blackshot01. He's driving the E50 on an encounter battle on Lakeville. Sorry, not Lakeville, Lakeville. And obviously the DGA army, or the DG army, representing today with another member of that clan showing a replay. Before we get too far into this game, I do just want to see if you can have a look at the Allied side. That is a failed platoon on their side with 2 tier 5 artillery, and that Chaffee there platooning up. Obviously it goes on the highest matchmaking when you're in a platoon, so that Chaffee got matched up in a tier 10 game and dragged the 2 tier 5 artillery along with him. And with the artillery reworks, those tier 5 artillery are going to be pretty damn useless, to be honest. Chaffee could still affect some change though if he's a decent Chaffee driver, just because of how powerful that tank can be. So he's going to be heading into the town to begin with, and it's a good job that he did get here this quickly, because it looks like the enemy is going for a rush base capture. Spots out an enemy Batchat 25 ton here, and he should have his cannon loaded fairly soon, if not already loaded. He's going to have to be pretty careful about this one because the Batchat's able to kick out a decent amount of damage. Unfortunately, it looks like that, well, not unfortunately, fortunately for him, it looks like that first shot did bounce. So it looks like somehow this guy who drives a tier 10 medium tank has absolutely no concept of when his gun is going to penetrate, as it looks like he bounced his first 2 shots and the last one was the only one that did some damage. So an excellent piece of angling and hiding his weak spots there from Blackshot, and a little bit of a fail there from the Batchat, shooting when he really had no business doing so. So the enemy's still putting a decent amount of pressure on the cap zone here. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get this base capture off though, as it's only up to 30%. He's able to get a good bit of damage through the side turret of that fellow E50 there. Going in a one-on-one matchup with him, should be able to, there we go, gets a good bit of damage through the weak spot on the front of the turret there, and then manages to drop himself back behind the building and was able to angle himself just so that that shot from the other E50 was able to bounce. So good bit of play there. Catches the E50 coming forward, and one of his allies is able to take him out. Got to be careful now though, because that Object 704 has a huge cannon, is going to be able to do some huge amounts of damage, but it looks like the allies have been able to put somebody in that cap zone. So they've been able to just put a pause on that capture for the time being, and Blackshot was able to find the weak spot of that Object 704's armor and punish him for being out in the open the way that he is. So if we take a quick look at the tanks that they have in this area, they've got an IS-8 and an IS-4. That IS-8 doesn't have fantastic armour, and in fact neither does the IS-4 on the back or the side, which is what he is presenting to the enemy here. This guy gets away scot-free, then the allies aren't punishing him enough. And no, he wasn't able to get away scot-free. So with the front armour of that IS-4, he really should have just reversed out of there rather than turning and running, as no tank really has good side or rear armour. So he should have really been reversing out of the cap zone rather than driving full speed with his rear pointed at the enemy. So not surprised he was taken out before he got too far away. Now that IS-8 doesn't have fantastic armour, but does have good manoeuvrability and a good cannon. So just going to sit and camp here, wait for the IS-8 to poke himself out, and there you go, gets a shot straight through his front armour there. So they're doing to the enemy what the enemy was doing to them a moment ago, which is all sitting here in force and getting some good base capture points going. Again, just going to be trying to lure this IS-8 into popping out like that, and then going to get a good hit on him, and only his side armour is visible really, but then it looks like what was that? It's a T-30, came around on the flank and managed to get a good hit on him and take out his engine. But he just uses that repair kit to try and regain his speed and manoeuvrability. Because you have to remember that this E-50 is a medium tank, although it doesn't really look like it from its size and its bulk. It is a medium tank, so you really need that speed and manoeuvrability because you don't have the armour or the hit points that the other guys of your tier do. Finds a Yag Tiger here, and that Yag Tiger does a good job of putting a round straight through his front plate, taking him down to 31 hit points here, so he's going to have to play it very carefully. One thing that will work in their favour is that's going to lure this T-30 out into the open, because Blackshot only had 30 hit points and that T-11 only had 124, so kind of lured that T-30 out thinking that he could pick up an easy kill on at least one of them, and they were able to punish him for that and take him out. A little bit of a shame he wasn't able to pick up the kill on that one. Not really a high kill scoring game, but he's done a decent amount of damage, and not sure what's going on with his camera there, but he's done a decent amount of damage and shown some good tactical awareness, because I don't really want to say situational awareness anymore because apparently I have difficulty pronouncing that phrase, but showing some good tactical awareness here of fighting the enemy out of the cap zone, taking that over for themselves, and ooh, that ST1, and then doing a good job of holding off the enemy. So the enemy's only got this E75 left, and he's stranded all the way at the spawn zone, so this one is going to be all that she wrote, with a win for the Allies. And actually that grill looks like it picked up a kill for itself. So I guess you shouldn't speak too soon when you say that somebody isn't going to be particularly useful in this game. So they managed to get the base capture off, and that E75 not able to reset it or do anything. So awesome replay there from Blackshot01, playing the E50, not getting a huge amount of kills but doing a decent amount of damage and playing a great tactical game there. So that's going to be it for this week. Remember, if you've got yourself a good replay, please send that in to replay@screenreality.com. That's replay@screenreality.com. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I will catch you next time.